This year we're doing a thematic program called Small Acts, and these are everyday acts of civility, kindness, good citizenship, inspirational films. It's an unabashedly feel-good program, including Sound Tracker, which follows Gordon Hempton. He's a natural sound recordist. Listening to nature sounds, they usually just kind of make me have to go pee or something, all that water. But I love watching Gordon work. He's got a real passion. He's a great character, and this film I hope will play well with our audiences here. Another film along those lines is A Different Path, which follows several activists in various cities, including here in Toronto. Michael Lewis Johnson, who's an activist here in Toronto around reclaiming the streets from traffic and all those things. The film was done by Monteith McCullum, who was here 2 festivals ago with Milk in the Land. And like that film, this one has a very artisanal approach. I love the aesthetic. It has animation, really interesting use of music. Thunder Soul, which is a documentary by Mark Landsman. It follows the founding of a band at a high school in inner city Houston called the Kashmir Band. It was founded in the early 70s. We look back at the career of this band. And I'll point to one more film. The film that we named the program after is called A Small Act by Jennifer Arnold. This follows the story of a Kenyan man, Chris, who's sponsored by a Swedish woman who donated like $15 a month to help him go through school. Now, he became incredibly successful, graduated from Harvard Law, became a human rights lawyer for the UN, and he goes back to Kenya and decides to start his own school fund, and he seeks her out. It is an incredibly moving and, once again, inspiring story. This year doing a retrospective program at Hot Docs called Ripping Reality, and this is a look back at the last decade in documentary. It's kind of the beta launch of a new program here in which we'll be generating some discussion around the notion of a documentary new wave. We want to sort of look ahead in a way by reaching back. It's an interesting time for documentary right now, and we want to honor some of the essentials of the work that's been done. So we've asked programmers around the world to send us their lists of kind of their essential docs of the last decade. American Movie by Chris Smith and Sarah Price. This came out in 1999. And for me, it was one of the first films that really signaled something new was happening in documentary, and especially in American documentary. It's been an international movement. In Denmark, for instance, family is the kind of story we've seen a lot over the last decade. It's a personal story. Sammy goes to Yemen to track down his estranged father. It's a film that plays with the notion of representing reality. It really pushes boundaries between fiction and documentary. And meanwhile, in the Czech Republic, they've been experiencing their own burst of creative energy around documentary. The film Czech Dream, which came out 5 years ago, certainly spearheaded a new movement there. This is one of those sort of political interventionist documentaries. Here the filmmakers create a fake hypermarket, which would be the European version of like a Walmart. And really the film was a comment on consumerism in a post-communist culture. I'm Sean Farnel, and this has been the Hot Docs Daily.